Good morning. I'd like to introduce today our global API, which is a subject that comes back often when we talk about workflows, those kind of things, how we can connect from the online world into a workflow of print partners across worldwide. I'd first like to introduce a bit who we are. Cloudprinter is established in 2015. We are operating from Denmark and the Netherlands. And we claim to be a leading print API provider. It's a bit hard for just for players. It's just 30 days of routing jobs via an API. We're privately owned, and we basically serve e-commerce providers, online apps, publishers, and international companies to send any print to our API for local fulfillment anywhere in the world. I'd like to start with talking about the challenge from print sourcing. So before we talk about receiving an order in a workflow, what is the request of print buyers today in the online world? Let's say you are running a .com, and I just take an example of being a photo book provider, and you sell, for example, in 26 countries, and you like to expand that, or you like to have more print partners in more countries. Well, that takes a lot of time, capital intensive. You work together with an agency or box to find the proper print partners. You fly to do an audit, you have price negotiatings, and then on the end, when you are ready to go, it starts, you come to the subject of integration. And then you figure out each print partner has a different workflow or have a different way to connect. Let's say the old-fashioned one, if you're allowed to say here, they come with the request to use a WeTransfer or an FTP or whatever, which kind of legacy technology they use. Some other ones have probably very innovative new solutions. So in the end, you end up with having dozens of print partners around the world, and each have a different way of connecting to you, which is quite a challenge because you cannot reroute, you cannot load balance in peak periods between print partners. And we basically try to solve that with our global print API for print buyers around the world. That means we offer one single integration for a global print network. Our customers integrate just once with our solution, and from that moment they can push orders to our API for local fulfillment. And I'm used to the term API, and I'm using that every day, but I'm not sure if everyone is aware what it means. I often make the joke, some of them think it's an Indian beer, but we talk about a kind of interface between several programming languages on the web. Why customers would love this? Because it's one single integration, like I just mentioned, but also it brings lower shipping costs. Personally, I worked before at a company who was a global self-publishing house where customers were uploading their titles, and we were printing, for an example, in France for all the European Union, which means customers bought a book on booker.de in Germany, €9, and shipping cost was 60. It was ridiculous. And we solved that by printing local, which means the shopping costs are much lower and the transit times are often reduced to just 1 or 2 days. In fact, we reduce CO2 emissions. Just a few weeks ago, I was at Frankfurt Book Fair, and it's just an inside joke, so if you can stop the live broadcasting. I was talking with a publication department of the European Union, and they made those reports about reducing CO2 emissions in 2040. And the funny thing was, that was all printed in, I think, somewhere in Italy and shipped to each member state. So they have a long way to go, I think, to reduce those emissions. But we try to solve that with our solution. We currently offer 2 APIs. So we connect the print buyer, which is the print API, together with print service providers, which is our production API. If we look to the print buyers part, they can request live product pricing and shipping pricing. So I think we respond in around 160 milliseconds back what is the price for a particular print job and what are the available shipping options. It's a global print network, and the orders can be submitted via API integration with their own EDI, ERP, e-commerce, whatever, which kind of platforms they use. And on the moment we receive an order, we exchange live production and shipping status. So it's not a kind of a black hole where you put an order and then you should wait till you get back a shipping signal. No, we update you if the order is accepted, order is queued, rejected, order is in production, order is ready to ship, etc. From a print partner's perspective, the API and the platform allow our print partners to set their available products and machinery. So our customers route, for an example, on which kind of digital press do you have. Certain publishers, for example, or let's say in the photo book world, they like to route orders to an Indico, while in the publishing world they often prefer an inkjet, like a TrueJet, or let's say a Xerox toner-based machine. Via our production API you can receive orders and you can exchange all your live production data with us. So to summarize, we enable print buyers to print directly from anywhere or any application or tool to almost any country in the world. I say almost. Last week we got a new customer which is related to the World Bank, and we figured out that we quite had some black spots in our network as they came up with countries like Haiti, Costa Rica. So we have some work to do, but let's say we cover 80% of the world. So when we come to worldwide local printing, what we offer, the first thing we do is we offer unified job submissions. We have, let's say, one big range of templates that is accepted by all our print partners. So there is no need to adjust a print file for a different print partner. It's just one unified setting that we accept. And yeah, like I just said, we offer live quotation and shipping prices. So you just submit an order and we directly check let's say, the amount of pages or the specifications and reply in 160 milliseconds with the pricing. For, let's say, our corporate customers, we offer routing rules and profiles. So often it happens that a publisher comes to us and say, and I use all the time the example of a publisher, but it can be basically any web-to-print company as well, or international corporation. They come to us and say, okay, we work already with a digital book printing house in Germany, and we have a good relation with that one. So we like to keep on working with that print partner. But for the rest of the world, we like to expand into POD. And then we create, or they even create themselves, routing rules and profiles, which means they can say, okay, all my orders goes to the print partner in Germany with which I worked already for 10 years. But if his SLA performance, or when the orders comes above X amount, we like to have routed to printer B, etc. We always compare it a bit to the setting up rules in the Outlook environment a few years ago. When it comes to accepting or pushing orders to our platform, we use a certain routing algorithm to decide which print partner will get the job. And we look, first of all, to geographic location. We try to print as nearby as possible of the final delivery address. But we also look to pricing, which is quite important criteria, but not the most important. We look to performance over the last 90 days, we look to shipping options. So it's a certain algorithm that decides which print partner gets which job. And then for a print buyer or a client of us, it's quite easy to integrate. It's a 2018 API, everything is documented online, there are training videos, etc. And our support team is available 24/7 to help our customers to integrate. Of course, there are a lot of customers who say, okay, we don't like to integrate, it's the internet economy. Do you have apps? Do you have plugins? Can we easily connect to party solutions that we already use? So yes, we have we are integrated with quite a few apps at the moment, or solutions. The one that I like to cover here today is Focus Switch, which will come in the next slides. On the e-commerce side, it's an Magento, Shopify, often solutions that are used by web-to-print providers without their own production, or they have their own production but they like to expand in different markets. Development, GitHub, Postman, CRM, it's a quite popular one. Sending a proposal directly, or a print job from Salesforce and HubSpot. And if there is an integration that is not covered on this sheet, you can use Automate.io or Zapier, which is a kind of tool to connect a lot of different web applications to each other without coding a lot. In the next months, we release our integration with SAP and Fresh, focused, I think, on the US market, while SAP goes more into the corporate and virtual stock, etc. An impression of our dashboard for print buyers, where they can manage their relation with Cloudprinter. They can set up their webhooks to integrate with their solution. They can check out our product templates, and even they can check local pricing without approaching our API, but just log in and say, okay, I like to have business cards in Singapore. What is the price? What are the shipping options? And we will return, like, okay, 3 different kind of shipping options for that particular product. They can set up the routing profile, manage the account, and whatever. The nice thing about this dashboard is it's built on top of our API, which means if you don't like it, if you don't like our standard $10 UX design, which we probably took from some template, monster.com or whatever, you can easily integrate it in your own Microsoft BI, Salesforce, or whatever, which tool you use, and pull all the data from our API and get your own visual dashboard and manage it all. When it comes to products, we try to enable as much as possible products for print buyers. We currently have more than 420 products, which means around 5,000 product options. 5,000 sounds a lot, but if I have a business card, I have already 5 different kind of papers, 6 different kind of finishing, so it goes quite quick. Currently, we do books on demand, paperback or softcover, hardcover / case wrap, stationery, the business cards, the marketing material. Transactional mail is something we are just starting. We are integrating with mail solutions like the MailChimp, MailBlast, to offer their customers really a kind of an omni-channel solution. So not only an email or not only a WhatsApp message, but also regular postcards by mail to get the attention of their consumer. Wide format like canvas, the wall art, posters, sign, point of sale material, and then the third, which is mainly something that is popular in Q4, which are the gifts, the puzzles, the mugs, etc. And you probably can guess already that each of this category is a complete different print partner that we need, and a complete different automation, etc. A short impression of our print network at the moment. So we have 144 print partners live. We expect 21 more before the end of this year. It's a bit wishful thinking, because we know that from the 1st of December no one go integrate anymore, but we try to push it. So we are covered pretty well in Canada, North America, South America. We need to work a bit on Africa and, let's say, East Russia, but we are getting there. Although 144 printers sounds a lot, it's still not enough, because that means we have 1 or 2 print partners for each particular product in each geographical region, which is not the amount we are looking for in terms of volume. We grow every month at least by 30% already each month to month this year. So we are looking for new reliable print partners all the time. Summarize why our customers, the print buyers, opt for our API. Well, they save, like I said at the beginning, on shipping cost. They save on print cost often. And now I think the biggest saving is on print management. They are not emailing every day with their print partner in Australia or Indonesia, need to wait 20 hours due to the time difference or whatever. They get back all the data real time. I like to now jump to workflow automation. So how we work with print service providers who are part of our print network, and how do we connect to them. It's a quite funny thing. When we started Cloudprinter years ago, we thought print partners will be queuing up to get our volume, and they all were looking for new print jobs. They all were eager to increase their revenues, and it will be hard, we thought, to explain the online community that they can send print jobs via an API. Well, it was completely opposite. The online community, or let's say the web developers, the publishers, the e-commerce industry, they understood directly what we were doing. And they started to integrate with our API without talking to them. They were signing up, they learned about us on GitHub, on forums and whatever. And they started to push in orders. And then we learned we had a lot of black spots in our network. And we were talking for days and nights with print partners. And the first thing they always said, well, we don't have automation. We don't have workflow. You send us a job and we will create a job ticket. Someone will drag and drop the file into the RIP downstairs. And our sales manager will bring, let's say, 20 job tickets to the print operator. I said, well, that's not the way we can work. Then we helped them to integrate in some standard solutions, which was also not something we were looking for. And then finally we met with a company coincidentally just next door called Enfocus, and together with them we built a solution or an integration with Enfocus Switch, which means we built an app for Enfocus to connect to print service providers who use Enfocus Switch to be up and running in just a few hours. And in just a few hours, I mean really be able to receive our order, to exchange data, etc. Why, as a print service provider, why you like to, or why it makes sense to work with us? Well, first of all, it's just one integration that brings you hundreds of new clients. And that number grows, and without adjusting your workflow or whatever. It's just one single pipeline, to say it a bit black and white like that, that brings you new customers every day. It's easy to connect by combining our new app, and I see that the layout or the formatting of this slide is a bit a mess, my apologies. And yeah, you can receive and manage orders automatically. You don't need to log into a web page and say I accept this or that. Now, before you start with us, you select which kind of products you like to accept. You set your pricing. That's another thing. We don't negotiate pricing. We let print partners to set their own pricing, and our platform directly gives you an indication competitive or it's not competitive at all. Please adjust it. It's a bit like a Google ranking. I mentioned earlier the algorithm that we use, and besides the pricing and the geographical locations, we also use tier levels. So the more automation in the integration with a print partner, the more orders we source to that particular print partner. The first one we prefer is a print partner that runs on a Enfocus Switch, as we have the integrations with that. The second one is what we call a pure API integration, so connecting your current own developed workflow, for an example, to our production API, do a lot of end-to-end test and then get live. And the third one is one that I really don't like to mention here, but it's written there. It's what we call a light version, which is just a web portal where you log in and download the order, say it's printed, say it's shipped, and that's mainly for small shops which are maybe doing just 20 canvas prints somewhere in a small geographical region for us. So like I just said, the new app which we together built with Enfocus for Enfocus Switch replaced the need to integrate with our production API, and it makes you up and running within hours. And that's from a technical way. From a pricing and set up the machinery, it might take a few days more, but that is everything it is. Why you should join? What is your benefit? Well, first of all, it's free. Our CFO is crying already from years or shouting to us, guys, why we don't charge print service providers to a kind of subscription fee to be connected to our network? That's not logic, because we use an algorithm. We like the platform to decide who get the order, not the financial or commercial relation between a print partner and us. The average time to integrate with our API, so really coding between your workflow and our API, is I think 80 hours. Might be a bit more, but that's really 80 hours of coding. And again, with the new App 4 and Focus Switch, there is no development required. How long it basically takes before we integrate with a new partner? We call it 7, 8, 10. And as I just said, we hope to have some printers live before the end of this year. That's not always the case, but it's an indication how simple it can be. In the first 7 days, we work with a print partner on, okay, which products are you able to do? Which kind of references do you have? What's your machinery setup? Then we basically come to an agreement and the workflow integration starts. When that is done, say after 8 days, we jump to end-to-end testing, we jump to test products, etc. Then we're ready to go. So that was just a short introduction of Cloudprinter. And as Ulf said at the beginning, it's quite interactive, so if anyone have questions, just shout.
Yes, please. Yes.
What is your business model? Where do you as a company make money?
That's a good one. Now we don't put a margin on the print product. So if we provide live pricing to our customers, they basically see the pricing of the print partner, but we charge the print buyer a software as a service fee. So they might pay us a fee which varies from €100 to €5,000 a month, and that's it. And you might say, well, that's quite expensive number. Well, if you run a company that is doing, for example, 4,000 or 5,000 print jobs a day, your fulfillment department might consist of 8 employees. And now with 1 extra employee cost, you are able to manage a global print network. I saw there also a question, yeah.
Just wondering, how do you handle the output quality consistency? How do you control the output?
Yeah, that's also a big challenge, but we do. So first of all, at the beginning, we do a lot of test runs on each particular product and on different color management sheets. We do weekly coast orders at our print partners. We do, I think once a month, some of our team members visit the print partner, and that's basically it. The coast orders give us always a good idea about the consistency of a print partner by printing. But of course there's always a difference, even for global brands like, okay, I'm Dutch, and Heineken. The color of green that they print on a digital press in the Netherlands is different in Brazil, even when they use the same kind of paper or the same kind of machinery. So we try to be as much as possible, or as close as possible when we set up, and after that we monitor. Any other questions, or everyone wants to go for a coffee?
Yeah, I know we're going to wait to coffee because I think we have some very good questions for you, Martin. So when we talk to people in our industry and trying to describe what you're doing, and you say you're doing an API, but aren't you really an advanced broker, or what are you?
Well, we are not a broker and we are not a marketplace, and that's the funny thing. Of course, we always try to compare a bit to solutions that people are used to. Exactly. So we give sometimes the example, we are a kind of a booking.com, but there's only one hotel popping up for the city you are searching for. Because we already decide on our algorithm which hotel is right for you. And that sounds a bit arrogant, but for a print job you don't have the time to log in and see, there are 5 options which printer I want to go to. No, you want to rely on our algorithm that push it to a print partner that has performed over the last 90 days and has the right price. So yeah, we are not a broker, we are not a marketplace, and if anyone here with great marketing experience in the audience have some advice for us how we should frame what we are doing, we are always open for suggestions.
Yeah, that is a good answer, because we are seeing there's a lot of other players, right? Vendors and new business ideas coming up. And we are trying to put them in a box.
Yeah.
And it's hard to put you in a box right now, because you're doing a lot of different things here.
Well, we just do one thing. We're offering an API, but how to frame it, you're completely right.
Where to put it in which box. Thank you very much.
Hi, a couple of questions. A Swedish printer hooked up?
We are integrating with one printer. And yesterday they asked me which name, and I forgot to log in into HubSpot this morning. But I come back to you after the coffee break when I look into our platform which printer is connecting.
Sounds great. Do you show open who is connected, what printer is connected to?
No, we don't show it on the website, because often our print partners don't want that. Because they say, okay, we give, let's say, low pricing and or good pricing, but we don't want that is findable or that's visible on the web that we are related to that pricing. But we always explain it. If you ask us, we will tell exactly which print partner we use in which country.
If I am a printer, can I use the software to do my own print jobs with my own customers also?
Don't go there, because I see our CTO now going through the ground, because a question that we get every day from print service providers is, can we take your API as a white label? Can we offer it to our customers? Because our customers are also asking for an API. I print for a local photo book company or a local web-to-print company. I like to receive orders and have them directly in my workflow. So we are currently designing what we are calling Cloudprinter Industry, which is a white label version of our solution, with the ability to push also orders into our cloud platform for jobs that you cannot fulfill as a print partner yourself. We will not, Mons, what's the timeline? Because I'm selling it already for Q1, but you came to Q4 next year.
Yeah, somewhere in between, I think. But don't touch it.
So next year.
Yeah. We are completely aware of that need in the market.
Okay, one last question. Anyone that sells print knows that it's hard to sell print, and if it's bigger contracts, it's a long sales cycle. How do you work with when you sell this? When you find print buyers, how do you work with that?
You mean when we are looking for print partners or for the client side? When
the client side. Everyone wants to have the clients, big clients.
Yeah, but
new clients.
We are not really go out for, let's say, a large publisher. We work for a few, let's say, I think we work for 2 out of top 10 publishers worldwide. But what we see often is that their developers, they learn about us on a GitHub or on a forum or in the news. They start to do some testing, do some sandbox, and then they basically turn into a bit of an ambassador within their company. And then we get approached by that company. So we are really focused on inbound sales, inbound marketing, and we don't have the sales team that goes out or whatever. Another way how we try to sell, and I think that have been proven pretty successful, or to reach out to clients, is the integrations with third parties. We just did an integration with a photo book solution called Taupix. I don't know if you're familiar with that solution. And if you now buy Taupix, there's a checkbox in the dashboard where you can say output to Cloudprinter, and you don't need to set up any production or products anymore. And I think the same thing we do next year with MediaClip. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you very much. I think we should be my time.
Thanks.